Hi, my name is Jennifer Dodson. I'm going to be giving a presentation about Liz Claiborne today. I'm going to give some brief background history, and I'm going to move on into what leadership approaches or aspects I feel best fit her style and least fit her style. As we know her today, Liz Claiborne, she was actually originally born Anne Elizabeth Jane Claiborne. She was born on March 31st, 1929 in Brussels, Belgium. Her father was a banker and her mother came from a wealthy Creole family. For the first 10 years of her life, she actually only spoke French, later having to learn English as a second language when her family moved to New Orleans at the start of World War II. They just really wanted to get away from the pressures and the building atmosphere over in Europe at that time. She never actually finished high school or went on to complete any further education, but during her learning years, she took a lot of art classes and developed a love for painting, sketches, art design, color palette, everything that would be the foundation for her later career. She later moved to New Orleans back with her aunt and won the Harper's Bazaar design contest. They actually manufactured her design, and she got a trip to Paris to meet with a designer. This kind of set in motion her need for a career in design, so she moved to New York and would work as an apprentice for an up-and-coming sportswear designer. After that was no longer an option for her, she went and worked for more pricier couture type houses and eventually met her husband, who would become her business partner, and they would found a company along with their friend Leonard Boxer in 1976. Within the first 10 years of this company, they boasted $1 billion in sales. She became a CEO and her company was listed on the Fortune 500. She was actually one of the first women CEOs to be listed on a Fortune 500 company. And in 1989, she resigned as head of the company. The company was no longer going in the direction she wanted before, where it was more practical, affordable wear. They were going towards cheaper clothes that she didn't actually approve upon. So she decided she would just actually leave the business. In 1998, she was actually diagnosed with primary peritoneal carcinoma. That's a type of cancer that affects the lining of your abdomen. The prognosis is actually not good for that. She tried chemo, she tried various surgeries, but in June 26, 2007, she actually succumbed to the cancer and died. So now we're going to go on into her leadership approaches. I feel like the trade approach actually described Liz Claiborne pretty well, but I feel like it was more of a descriptive factor. It didn't actually give anything about how she reacted in situations or to different types of people. It was just more descriptive of what was going to make her a successful leader. And I feel like she did encompass the 5 major traits, which were intelligence, self-confidence, determination, integrity, and sociability. She built upon all of these different traits and made a successful business. The other approach that I feel also somewhat describes her is the style approach. Based off of Blake and Mouton's leadership grid, I feel she had more of the team management style, which is a level of high commitment and high participation, especially in the beginning of her business. She was trying to get the company off of the ground, so she was very motivated, knew what she wanted. She was there in the design room, she was there in all the meetings, she was very motivational to her employees and was there. I don't feel like this later encompassed her because this changed as her business grew and they no longer had the same goal as she initially had. So the style that I feel best fit her was the situational approach. I feel like in the beginning she had one approach or one style that she used, which gradually changed towards the end when she was no longer involved. So she actually changed her leadership style based on the various situations. The best one that describes her in the beginning was the S2, which is the coaching. It's very high directive and high supportive. She was very involved with her employees. Like I said, she went to all the meetings. She was in the design rooms designing stuff. She was actually the sole designer in the beginning. She wanted input. She would go to meetings and tell them all about her life and ask them, to give stories as well. Later on, as the goal of the company changed and the direction changed, it seemed like she changed more to an S4 type, which is more of the delegating. She wasn't really there one-on-one with the employees. She was kind of more just in the background, overseeing. This is at the time when she was getting dissatisfied with the state of her company. So the S4 was very low supportive, low directive, required less import and less support. And the one that I feel like least exemplified how Liz Claiborne did her leadership was the transformational aspect. That aspect is more about developing, improving performance of followers through support and building them to their utmost potential. I don't feel like this is really what she was doing. She had a goal that was to get the company off the ground, so she was more supportive, more motivational in the beginning, but it was due to a different goal. It was for her wanting to increase her company and just grow out of that. I didn't feel like she had her followers, employees necessarily in mind. So I feel like that one was the least compatible out of them all. I hope you enjoyed this brief biography and have a good day.